How is it going, everyone? Got quite a lot to talk about in this video. There is a remaster that looks to be in the works that I have been calling for quite a while, and I'm very excited about the possibility of it happening. A very well-received open-world RPG that really could do with a remaster, so we'll talk all about that. Gang of Dragon is a game that got revealed during the Game Awards, and it's a brand new game coming from Nagoshi Studios, and we've got some new images on that game as well. We'll talk all about that if you're into Yakuza. That's a game that's going to be right up your alley, and quite a lot of buzz over the Sword and Fairy 4 remake. I'll talk a little bit about that. I think everybody up in arms and being like, oh my god, it's Expedition 33, like, we're just copying Expedition 33. Look, turn-based games have been around for quite a while. I get that Expedition 33 may have elevated them into the prominence a little bit more, but I think the game itself looks pretty good, and it's right now only revealed for PC, but it's been talked about a lot. So we'll talk that at the end of this video, but first of all, Kingdom Come Deliverance Remaster, that's KCD 1, might be released as early as February. According to information from an insider, Warhorse is set to release a slightly upgraded version of the first game for PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and Switch 2 shortly, complete with 4K textures and slightly improved graphics. It's noted to be a port of the PC version as long as it improves the frame rate, the visuals are a bit better, higher resolution. That's gonna do very, very well. A lot of people want to check out the first game as KCD is a very narrative-heavy game, and I'm sure that there are people out there that want to play KCD 2, but the idea of going back and playing KCD 1, look, KCD 1 is a good game in its own right, but going back and playing it at the current performance levels on console, not an ideal experience. Right now, the game is on sale. It's 80% off for $7.99. I wonder if they would offer a discount or maybe even do a free upgrade. I mean, Warhorse is a studio that's pretty good to the consumer, so I could see this end up being a free upgrade, but it could be a case of, okay, the upgrade comes out, it's available on PS5, the sale price gets appreciated. So if you're looking at it, I don't know at the same time, though. They could do something where no upgrade path is offered as well. I feel like Warhorse wouldn't do that, and I think they would just offer, at the very least, an upgrade path. If you own the original game, you would get the enhanced version for $5 to $10 or something like that. But we'll see how that ultimately turns out. But the remaster could be released as early as February, and that would be the 1-year mark since KCD 2 has come out. And I've been saying it for quite a while. KCD 1 is a game that I wanted to see a remaster out of. Like, it's so narrative heavy, and KCD 2 really did open up the game for new people to be interested in it. It was one of the best received games of 2025. However, it was just hard to recommend people to go back and play KCD 1. I was telling a lot of people, dude, just jump into it with KCD 2. Like, that game runs so well, and it's a quality game. And even when you look at it from a content standpoint, I would say that KCD 2 is the superior game, but again, people want to play the first game. It's a narrative-heavy game. It just makes sense that people would want to play the first game, and I get that you can play the second game and they'll get you caught up to speed. You can watch a recap video, but some people just want to play the original game, damn it. And having that option at the very least, if nothing else, you're definitely going to sell some copies of the game and people will check it out. And if it's not their cup of tea, hey, they won't have to check out KCD 2 at that point either. And I think ultimately it might lead to more people having interest in KCD 2 as well, because now they can play KCD 1 at a quality performance level, and then they can check out Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. So that's my 2 cents on that. I'm happy to hear this rumor, and hopefully it does come to fruition. It's not at the level of excitement that, you know, Red Dead Redemption 2, that remaster will get me, but KCD 1 is a game that very much needed a remaster as well. And with the popularity of the IP, I think now makes as much sense as ever. I will still say the combat in Kingdom Come Deliverance is always going to be one of those elements that's going to just push some people away. I think that is always going to be the one hurdle for people to jump over when it comes to KCD, but it is what it is. Some people, they can get by it, other people, they can't. I think the world design and the narrative in the games are so strong that it's something worthwhile to go through, but that's going to be a case-by-case basis. And I've talked to multiple people that played KCD 2 and ended up dropping the game because of the combat. So it is what it is. Alright, moving on from that, Gang of Dragon. This is a game that's not getting a ton of attention. It was announced at the Game Awards, and I'm sure the excitement will ramp up as we hear more about the game and we get an overview as far as what platforms the game is coming out on, because right now it's only listed on Steam, but obviously you would imagine that this game will be out on PlayStation. That just makes all the sense in the world. I could even end up seeing by the time it comes out, the PS6 is out, but I would absolutely imagine it'll be a PlayStation 5 title. But it's an action-adventure game set in Kabukicho, the iconic nightlife district of Shinjuku, Tokyo. Shinja Song, portrayed by renowned Asian actor Ma Dong-seok, is a high-ranking member of a Korean crime syndicate based on Kabukicho. As he explores the streets of Shinjuku, Shin becomes entangled in underworld conflicts and forges intense human connections that pushes him to confront his own sense of purpose. Combat unfolds from a third-person perspective centered on Shin's overwhelming physical power. Engage enemies through brutal hand-to-hand strikes, precise blade attacks, gunplay, and high-impact vehicle action across the city. Forge your own path through a story where violence and human bonds intertwine. The game will be available on PC and Steam. That we know. I would, again, imagine that it's coming to PlayStation 5 as well. The screenshots of the game, man, it looks like an action-heavy title that if you're into Yakuza and that style of experience, this is probably going to be right up your alley. I wouldn't expect a release in 2026, maybe 2027 at the earliest, but chances are this is a ways away. But something to look forward to there. And then lastly, man, this has been getting a lot of traction. Sword and Fairy 4 Remake, the official trailer on that has dropped, and it's seeing a lot of comparisons to Expedition 33 from a combat style standpoint. Guys, Expedition 33 did not invent turn-based games. Are you telling me that the camera work and the viewpoint of the game is similar to Expedition 33? Sure, but there are other games that have had that viewpoint. I mean, there are other games that have had a turn-based style. There's games like Yakuza Like a Dragon. There's games like Metaphor ReFantazio, and so on and so forth. And Cube Game did mention, regarding turn-based combat, the Legend of Sword and Fairy series is always an ensemble piece. Having multiple characters on the field simultaneously enhances the sense of camaraderie and allows us to directly see different combat styles and personalities. The system, story, and character development are inseparable, which is why the team chose real-time turn-based combat from the very beginning. A year or two ago, choosing real-time turn-based combat faced considerable skepticism, but we always encouraged the team to have confidence and focus on the key aspects. We didn't have the time or money to make mistakes, and we also had to consider what kind of combat gameplay you would expect from a player. We believe the team has seen our concerns about the game, and we will continue to maintain a cautious and vigilant attitude. We are deeply grateful to all players, whether they have played the game before or not. We owe our existence today to you all. It's wonderful to have you. Sword and Fairy is one of those franchises that hasn't garnered a gigantic traction over here stateside, but I have recommended Together Forever. That's available on the PlayStation Store, and visually speaking, that is one of the most stunning games that you can play. That game, from a visual standpoint, is jaw-dropping. I think that game looks incredible. Sword and Fairy 4, this is a remake of Sword and Fairy 4, obviously dubbed Sword and Fairy 4 Remake, developed in Unreal Engine 5, single-player turn-based RPG, reborn in UE5 with the latest technology. We'll see how the game turns out, and hopefully it gains more traction here stateside. Having more turn-based RPG franchise, or even games that are turn-based RPGs, because Sword and Fairy, I would imagine, is going to be a series that varies from entry to entry, but we'll see how that turns out. Again, this is another title confirmed for PC, but I would imagine that it'll be coming to PlayStation 5 as well. But that's gonna do it for me. Fingers crossed on that KCD1 remaster to come to fruition, because that's a game that absolutely needs a remaster. Gang of Dragon gets some new screenshots, and another upcoming game to be on the lookout for. And Sword and Fairy 4 getting quite of attention with its remake trailer. Has some comparisons to be made with Expedition 33, but in fact, Expedition 33 was not the first turn-based game ever, and some real-time mechanics being introduced to it. Not an issue either, I don't think. I don't think this is the end of the world, and you know, if this means that there's more viability in turn-based games, look, there's been a lot of viability in Souls-like games, and we've seen a plethora of Souls-like games. At this point, I don't think there's an overflowing of turn-based titles, and I think we could do with more of them, but there's always a lot of variety. If you don't enjoy turn-based games, I don't think everybody under the sun is going turn-based. I don't think that's happening, but nonetheless, certainly going to be one of the talking points going forward. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. As always, sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.